Nerves are starting to set in a bit. I think we're now just realizing we're in another World Cup semifinal, and we have how many hours to go? I'm not even sure yet, but definitely nerves are starting to set in, but also a lot of confidence and a lot of faith in this Croatia team.
Zlatko Dalic has said victory this evening would be the greatest moment in Croatian football. Is that how you view it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think the success of this Croatia team after 2018 to then make another semifinal, the second consecutive semifinal, is already an enormous achievement. And I think that the kind of feeling in Croatia, and I think amongst this team as well, is that we can make the final this time. And so let's see if we can do it tonight.
Yeah, you've been here, then you've been home to Croatia, and now you're back here for the semi-final. What is the mood like at home?
Oh, I think everybody is confident, and it was so funny. I was actually in town writing about the quarterfinal match. And when Neymar scored in extra time, I think typically amongst Croatia fans, we would have that feeling of, oh, it's over. But everybody that was around me was like, no, we're going to equalize. And we did. And then we took it to penalties. And I think everybody is confident in Croatia now when we go into penalties at this point.
What do you see as the secret of the success? Because there's a lot of talk of, this is the second straight semi-final after 2018, but I think what a lot of people might not realize is actually a lot of the players are different.
Oh, the team is completely different. I think we only have about 6 senior players that played in Russia. And I think it comes down to this, and I've said this so many times, Croatians, because of what they had to go through, especially the war is still so fresh, these players have this incredible fighting spirit. They really leave their hearts on the pitch, and they have this never give up attitude. And I think Luka Modric, as the team captain, who obviously was so affected by the war as well, he gives everything to Croatia. And I think all of the young members too feel the same way.
Are this newer generation of players born with that, the fighting spirit, or is it something that they develop because of what is passed down from the older generation?
I think it's a little of both, but I think definitely it's so interesting because so many of these young players, especially, they grew up watching Modric, and now they're playing with Modric, and they're playing with Lovren, and they're playing with these players. And so I think in that sense it's definitely passed down. But I think Croatian people as a community always just have that fighting spirit. And obviously we see it in football the most with what we've achieved so far.
So how do you think the game is going to go?
Well, ideally, I would not like it to go into extra time and penalties. We will have to see about that. I think Argentina is the one team that I've seen that I would be a bit nervous for Croatia going into penalties against. But as a Croatia fan as well, apart from being a journalist, I'd like to say 2-1 Croatia without going to extra time.
Do you have any concerns that the matches up to this point, having gone so late, gone so long, that might have an impact on the team this time?
Dalic said it best. He said, of course they're tired. And I think we saw it the most against Japan. Croatia was exhausted in that game. And then, they came up against Brazil and they played brilliantly. I don't think that their exhaustion was a factor at all. And I think when you're playing a semifinal match at the World Cup, all of that goes away. You're fueled by adrenaline, and I think that's going to take Croatia tonight.
What was the hope in the build-up to this tournament? How confident were you? Was a semi-final realistic?
No, I don't really think so. I think in so many of the interviews I've done, personally, I was saying, okay, if we get to the quarterfinal, that's great. And I think that was kind of the expectation. Now that we are in the semifinal, I think the expectation is we will be in the final. And I think that is the kind of general feeling for all Croatia fans.
And in terms of confidence of then going the next step further and being able to claim the trophy, how are people feeling?
You know what? Everybody wants redemption. 2018 was tough. We were heartbroken after that. And obviously this is Luka Modric's last World Cup. I think it's unrealistic to think that he will play in the next World Cup because I think he'll be, 41 years old? So I think the Croatia team, as much as we speak about Argentina wanting to do this for Messi, Croatia wants to do this for Modric. And if we make that final, I think it's completely possible, especially if we play France in the final, because there you go, there's redemption.